Okay, next we're going to take a look at making a part that is 2 pins long and 1 pin wide. Again, whether it's tall or short is just going to be an extrusion height difference, which we can come back and change. There is a pin on the bottom. This pin on the bottom is a diameter of 3, which we will take a look at. It is a driven dimension. And if we do a different color, we'll make it a different color. Later on, if we need to add to it to create a part like this or like this, we can start with this block and then add to it. So here we go. Being that I have already set my units to millimeters, I can just go right here and get started. So being that it is 2 pins wide, that leads us to the fact that the overall length is 16 by 8 for the width. I am making the thin one right now, but I most certainly could change this to being a tall one by changing that extrusion height. There are 2 pins here on the top. I would not run what's known as linear rectangular pattern for this, being the fact that there's only 2 and the diameter of 5. You could mirror it too, if that is your option. And we have a pin height of 1.5 millimeters. Shell the bottom. We've already added the shell tool. We're going to use a shell thickness of 1.5. For these to snap on, we need a pin here in the bottom. Find the center. I would recommend using the midpoint instead of taking a bunch of measurements here. But if you are going to measure, it would be 8 millimeters from the edge. And it is centered top to bottom. So 4 millimeters. But by using this line, I'm geometrically driving it. So a diameter of 3, and this will be consistent throughout our Lego designs. The fact that we would have a diameter of 5 makes this tangent on all sides. That is how we are getting this diameter of 3 that a pin from another part would fit in here. When extruding up to a surface, this is a odd decimal. I want this to come right to this surface. So as I start to pull it in the correct direction, if I reference this surface, it will extrude it that exact distance. By doing so, if I come back and change this height, I can then change this to reference this surface to make it the tall one. But we've added the pin in the bottom. So as we're getting used to this, go to your favorites, since we've added ABS plastic, and then select your color. Granted, all colors are not here. We can create a custom color if you choose to do so.